So if you listened to our previous episode, we started a new series in which we're talking about, possible games that can fit into the Metal Gear, world, And so we wanted to just, we put our heads together and just wondered what could work. Last time we spoke about a possible story with the Cobra unit and the boss, and how her story could be and what led her to what happened now. So please feel free to listen to that. If you don't want to hear the entire episode, you can just listen to the Codec Conversation, which is on our YouTube channel. This time, Heido and I sat down. We thought about another game, and it was, Heido, do the honors.
From lightning to sun.
From lightning to sun. And if you understood any of that, if you're a Metal Gear fan, you would know that we're talking about, when we say the lightning, we're talking about Raiden. And when we say sun, it's short for Sunny, which is the daughter of Oga. If you recall, Raiden's nanomachines were connected directly to Oga's daughter's heart. And if his nanomachine stopped, or if he died, she would die.
Right.
And so that's why Oga sacrificed her life for her daughter to possibly live. And so in gratitude, or rather in a sense of needing to complete this, Raiden, felt obligated to rescue her daughter.
Yeah.
From the Patriots. And he voiced his concern to Snake, and Snake assured him that they would find her. Now we're working with a 10-year gap here, because it's from part 2 to part 4. There's a 10-year gap.
Yeah. Game starts just like that.
Just like that. No info, nothing like that. What happened? Very vague, And I think it's a very good spot to kind of like, there's a game here.
Right. And that's what we want to get to with these topics, is that when you find a gap between something, because essentially what we're working with in this Metal Gear series that we're doing is gaps, right? A gap between, there's more to the story than the vagueness of, and in 10 years, and you start with old Snake kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So this is the gap that we're talking about. And you're absolutely right about having a bridge where we can connect these two games. You were saying this last episode, having a bridge where we can connect 2, possibly 3 games together, and just telling a story, keeping it canon, keeping it to the lore of Metal Gear.
Right, absolutely, man, because we got so much to work with here. So we've got a baby that's being held by Patriots, which we know by the phone call that Otacon and Snake share at the end of part 2. They've been dead for 100 years, so who's holding her?
Right.
We've got Snake's accelerated aging. When does it? We would love to know when it started. Like when he started noticing.
Yeah. I could imagine like a scene in the mirror or something, or
he like wakes up and he notices he's like,
it's wrinkling.
And they, Otacon and him talk about it and stuff like that. We've got Raiden.
And sorry to cut you off. And it also seems like he's accepted that already. Every time, when Meryl meets him again, like, she pretty much asks him in a simple term, like, why do you look so old, kind of thing, and he just simply answers accelerated aging and all these things. He goes into it, but it's like, he's just like, listen, it's this. And he's already accepted that fact. But what happened when, like, he first saw it, did
like
he struggle with that?
You know what I mean? Like, like even as little as changing his beard style, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In part 4, he has just a mustache.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? When in part 2 and all the other ones, he has a beard. He has a full beard.
Yeah. And it could probably be genetically, like, that's just the way he couldn't grow facial hair there anymore. And he just had the old man beard.
I think I would disagree a little bit, because Big Boss had a full beard in part 4 when he returned. So
it could be.
It could be just a new look for him. He probably didn't like the way he looked with his beard. Who knows?
Maybe. Or it could be that his hair fell off and that's all he could grow.
For some reason. Yeah, I guess. We can go heads or toes with this. Let us know. underthecardboardbox@gmail.com.
That's right.
So where does this begin? And so we were thinking, we were like, what if the game kind of started opposite to how Metal Gear Solid 2 was? So in Metal Gear Solid 2, we get to play
fan favorite.
as Solid Snake, right? Metal Gear, I said 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Metal Gear Solid 2, you get to play as Solid Snake at first. And so as you proceed, you do the first mission in the tanker and you're thinking, it's sunk, what's next for Snake? Then Raiden comes in. Big kick to the nuts for everybody, right?
Yeah, fan favorite.
You know, who the heck is this guy? But what if this other one that we're talking about, this current Metal Gear that can be possible, starts off with a short portion of Raiden and a long portion of Snake?
Yeah.
Now, that's, before you guys go on thinking you're just saying that because you didn't like how it was short for Snake and long for Raiden. That's not the case. The case is because we actually, thought about this in the after a while, Raiden leaves to train as a ninja.
Because remember, he wasn't that in 2, and Snake was surprised that he was that in 4. So there's a gap there.
Yeah, there's a time in which Snake and Raiden no longer see each other.
Right.
Whether or not it was before or after they rescue Sonny, I don't know. But now that I'm thinking about it, it could be that he left to train as a ninja after they rescued Sonny.
Could
be.
Yeah.
Although Sonny in the end is with Otacon and Snake. So
Correct.
that's something that can be discussed. Please let us know your thoughts. So this is all happening. Snake is aging rapidly. Something happens to Raiden that he feels inadequate, that he has to train this way.
Yeah. I think about the scenes where, because I'm pretty sure that Raiden felt the inspiration when Snake gave him that sword, right? He goes back to it a little bit in Rising, when he talks about Snake, he just talks about him, having a sparring session with Snake, using a sword, Maybe he was talking about, part 2, but maybe he was talking about another part, where Snake throws him another sword, and he's just like, let's do this, let's train or something, like in the beginning before the events of when he became a ninja or something, because his inspiration, and it's without a fact, is Snake. His inspiration for to be a warrior and a soldier comes from Snake. And so maybe he, in this beginning part that you're talking about, there's flashbacks of 2 and like them training together. Metal Gear has this very creative way of doing flashbacks where it's just like scene by scene by scene kind of thing in a white fog, and then going back to to real life or whatever. It was done a lot in 4, where he sees Meryl for the first time again, and then it's like, can you even shoot, rookie, whatever, and it just like these flashbacks and stuff. But he also gets that thing with Johnny where Johnny is like, he doesn't even he has a safety on it. He goes back to that memory with Meryl, and it does this flashback thing. So maybe in this game, From Lightning to Sun, it creates this flashback where Raiden is just transitioning into this ninja. What was it that led him to be a ninja? What was it that led him leave his training, maybe with Snake, maybe they were doing some stuff together, who knows? But let him say, like, you know what? I need to train more, and I want to be something better and maybe something different. Maybe there was a fallout. Maybe there was a falling out between Snake and Raiden, and maybe he just didn't feel adequate enough. Who knows? Something must have happened in the beginning that led him to go journey on to this, to becoming a ninja.
Yeah, absolutely. There are many ways that this can go. As far as where she's being held and stuff like that, we know that Sonny as a child or as a baby was being guarded.
Yeah, heavily
guarded. We're talking about, whoever's guarding the Patriots or whoever's guarding this whole system. It's just crazy.
It's powerful people.
Yeah.
Powerful people.
We've got 3 main characters. We've got Otacon, we've got Snake, and Solid Snake, and we've got Raiden. And who knows? Maybe Ocelot can make an appearance somehow, because we know that at some point Ocelot, goes through some transformation trying to make himself Liquid's doppelganger. Maybe he has maybe there would be like a final phone call at the end. But we were thinking
Otacon?
Ocelot.
Or Ocelot. Okay,
Ocelot,
yeah.
yeah.
I think you said Otacon.
Did I? I apologize if I did. I meant to say Ocelot. So, and then all of this stuff can lead to kind of like the beginning of part 4, or rather Raiden's entrance into part 4. So eventually, like, let's say after all the credits and everything like that, after they find Sunny and or whatever the case may be, it goes after the credits, and just like in part 4 where Big Boss was there, you actually get to see Raiden for the first time in his appearance for part 4, and this time with the Metal Gears, and you actually came up with this idea. I was pretty impressed. You get to fight the Metal Gears as you're protecting Snake.
Right. And that scene that you see when you first see Raiden. Raiden isn't in the whole game until this point. You don't know anything about Raiden. You don't know anything until this point where he's on a rooftop and you're kind of in this war kind of cutscene with Snake where he takes cover and everything, and then you kind of see it from his eyes, right? And like,
or dare we say even before that, because he contacts him in a place where Snake isn't even there yet.
Right. Yep. That's
so
right.
maybe it can start from there. You're covering Snake now, so let us know what you guys think at underthecardboardbox@gmail.com. How would this game look? What would be the context other than saving Sunny? What would be the struggles they have to go through? Let us know what you think of how Snake would react to his accelerated aging. Would he be really shocked? Would he go through a stage of distress? You know what I mean? Because
what kind of relationship? Yeah, and what kind of relationship does Otacon and Snake have during that time?
Well, I knew it grew more.
Of course, yeah.
Part 2, when they had that super cool handshake where they were just, you remember that?
Yep, I do remember that.
Yeah, so they were pretty close, and I mean, I think it would be great to like see the development and what they meant to each other, kind of a deal. But please, we want to know from you guys what can happen. Send us emails, join us at UCB Podcast. This game, I think, would be awesome, man.
I think so too. I think that there's a lot of room for creativity, a lot of room for gameplay. Like we were talking about before, we don't just want a glorified DLC, right? We want a full-fledged game that actually has a plot and canon story into it, not just like a thrown in, like, we'll just price tag this at $39.99 and you can get it here. We actually want a full-fledged $60 next-gen game where it has a great, rich story, great bosses, keep the same theme of Metal Gear, the same format of Metal Gear, where you fight bosses, possibly a Metal Gear. I mean, come on, there's been so many Metal Gears, and Metal Gear Rising, he fights a plethora of them, and you just take them out like nothing. So, like, yeah, just write to us at underthecardboardbox@gmail.com just to let us know what you guys think of this story, this bridge connecting the 10 years of Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 4. I think it promotes well-balanced different styles of gameplay, because Snake is not going to play the same way as Raiden, so this also creates a great balancing act for those two characters. I could even see it as chapter 1, being Snake and whatever, and then maybe chapter 2 can be again like Raiden, like switching off. It could be a number of ways, right?
Yeah.
It could be a number of ways, but I like the play on of what you said of Raiden in the beginning, and then Snake the whole way through, and then Raiden at like the final credits, kind of like how Metal Gear Solid 4 did it with Big Boss, right? So.
And it will be them rejoining, just like it did in part 2.
In part 2,
like
right.
It was Snake, Raiden, and then they fought together at the end. But this time, you got to play. But this time, you'll get to play a Snake.
Yeah, and it's great because everyone said it. When Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, like, oh man, I wish I got to play that part and stuff. And we kind of did with Metal Gear Rising. Wasn't exactly Metal Gear-esque, but I think this one can be just like how Revengeance was going to be, which was the canceled game that Hideo Kojima was making with his team that got canceled, which was more probably canon to Metal Gear Solid and more of that gameplay, third-person view, kind of tactical espionage action with the stuff included as well, which was the articles that I was reading, which was how it was going to be until it got canceled. So maybe this one can be just like that one and have kind of a more geared gameplay towards Metal Gear.
Yeah, man. I just like, as we're speaking about it, I thought what the first mission could be like.
Yeah.
Where they're really about searching for Sonny. So since you play with Raiden at first, can you imagine, you're teamed up with Snake, they storm into a room, and like, of course, you've got the blade, right? You've got the blade handy.
Yeah.
You're going in, and he's just like, deflecting the bullets, and Snake is right behind him, just, shooting it out. And so the first mission could be like, we've got a lead on her. We got a lead. We got this amount of time, or they're gonna get away. And that would be like the epilogue. That would be like the before, right? Is that epilogue or is that after? Epilogue is after?
Before.
It's before. Okay, right? So
I think.
Okay, so we can make mistakes. Prelogue. I don't know. Prologue. Yes, epilogue is afterwards.
Yeah. Okay.
So the prologue would just be like, they're trying to find her, and you're storming through this thing. It's time sensitive, and there's so much action going on and stuff like that. A lot
of stuff. Yep.
Yeah. And you're playing as Raiden. You're just like, you have to
just
play.
Literally throw you in the fire in the beginning of the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I can only imagine a combination between the blade and a gun. I can see this happening. And so when you get it to the end, it's like, damn it, she's not here either.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts. It's like when when lightning meets the sun or something. Did I say it right?
Yeah, we're from lightning
to sun.
Yeah.
Right? So it just starts there. And so the way that the missions work is kind of like, it kind of gives you kind of a listing of, here's Raiden's missions.
Yep.
Kind of a deal. And then here's what Snake and stuff will do afterwards. So guys, that's our layout for it. Add more to it. And we'll read it right here. We'd love to hear your theories as well, and it'll keep us going. So thanks for listening. Oh, man.
That was good.
You think so?
I think that was a good episode. I hope friends enjoy that one.
I hate our show.